Hello, this is Billy Core from the Carolina Circle Mile Wiki. It's April the 14th of 2013, and yesterday you got to see me unbox this Packard Bell Statesman laptop. Well, today we're going to take a quick look at it. I think you saw the exterior of it earlier in my previous video, but let's take a close look at what we got on here. Okay, on the front we have the battery, which is pretty much useless right now. It doesn't hold any kind of a charge. A 3.5-inch floppy drive, a PS2 mouse port, and on the back we have, I wasn't sure what this was yesterday, but now I know what it is. It's one of the most important plugs on here. It's the AC power plug. Yay! But we put this little flap down, you get even more ports. We got a parallel printer port, a serial port, and a VGA output. And this is actually a PC card slot, I learned. And this is the left side, by the way. And here's the bottom. It's a Packard Bell Statesman 810410. And there's no manufacturing date on here, unfortunately, but I'm pretty sure it was made in early 1994. For one thing, it has the Face of Technology logo. And there's this little compartment. Let me get my flathead screwdriver here. I think I got it there. Pull it off, and not quite sure what that is. Looks like a socket for an overdrive chip or a BIOS chip, but it obviously already has a BIOS on there. Let's flip it around and open it up, or do this with one hand. This is surprisingly a very small laptop for its age. These laptops back in the early 90s, when this was made, were very, very, very big, as you can imagine, but this one is actually quite compact for its era. But anyway, here's the inside of it. That's I don't know what size screen that is, but it's a color passive matrix display. Yes, that is a C6 screen, but on a computer that can barely handle a simple little DOS game from the 80s, passive matrix display really isn't a big deal on here. And we got a power button, contrast and brightness controls, and the keyboard. Be honest with you folks, this really isn't a good keyboard. The keys are very, very stiff, and the layout's kind of awkward, so it's not a very good, it's not even a very good word processor, folks. But yeah, it's a nice little machine. And by the way, this is I mentioned this in my last video, this is the J mouse. What you do is you hold it down, and you can move the key around in all kinds of directions, and it will move the cursor on the screen. And while you got it pressed down, you got these little keys here that will act as the buttons for the mouse, and the spacebar is one as well for the left click. So enough dilly-dallying around, let's fire this baby up. Okay, got everything hooked up, including an external Microsoft mouse, which I will be using instead of the J mouse because it's a little bit easier. Hope it works. I haven't tried an external mouse on here yet, but let's turn it on. Now, unfortunately, the CMOS battery is completely dead on here, and I really don't know how to replace it on here. So Phoenix BIOS. Yeah, real-time clock failure. And in order to boot, we got to go in, and since the battery's dead on it, we got to go into the BIOS and just simply configure the date, and it will detect the hard drive. And this computer is surprisingly new enough to auto-configure the hard drive. You don't have to put in the parameters or anything, which is good because I can't get to the hard drive to get the label off of it. Let's go ahead and set the date up in time. Let's see, it's 10:41 p.m. Let's see. Okay, that would be 22. 41. And if you're wondering, yes, this actually is the oldest computer I have in my collection at the moment. Okay, well, see, system date today's April 14th. And it certainly isn't 1990. If it was April 14th, 1990, I would only be about 5 months old. Yeah. So we'll switch, and believe it or not, the system clock can accept post-2000 dates, so we can set it to 2013 with no problem at all, and that's all we have to do to boot this sucker. Okay, we'll hit F4 to save the changes. What are you doing? Okay, I'm pressing F4 and nothing's happening. Okay. That's nice. The one time it doesn't want to work is when I'm filming it. Okay. We'll just see if it boots anyway. Still don't know what the clock speed is on the processor. Oh good, it detected the hard drive. Now we're booting into MS-DOS 6.22. Pretty much one of the most definitive DOS versions. And we're booting into Windows 3.1. Not workgroups, this is just plain old vanilla 3.1. Yes, this does have some type of sound on it. My friend William, when he still had it, installed a Microsoft PC speakers sound driver. Now, the only type of sound it can play on here are WAV files, so if you want to play any kind of music, like a MIDI file or anything like that, you might as well forget it. But here is Windows 3.1. Go into the Program Manager Help menu. This product is licensed to Billy Core Computer Services. I did not put that in there, by the way. That's kind of creepy. And as you can tell, the external PS2 mouse seems to be working just fine. Now, this computer only has a 200 megabyte hard drive, and it cannot work with anything above 500 megabytes, so, and it also only has 3 megabytes of RAM, so you can only take this so far, and without any real sound or anything, you really can't do any gaming on here. This is more of a little collectible machine, but I do have a couple of little games on here. I got the Best of Entertainment on here. We got good old Ski Free. I always got to show it. Oh yeah. I was trying to play this with a J mouse yesterday, and it is pretty much near impossible to do. Enough of that. Go to Chip's Challenge. This will show off some of the wave capability. Yeah, it doesn't sound too good, but it's better than nothing. And if you guys are wondering, no, I am not going to install Windows 2000 on here. Even Windows 95 is a stretch on this. It's a little chuggy at times, but it's more than happy to do what you tell it to do. And interestingly, I'm not too sure if this laptop really was manufactured by Packard Bell. You see, back in the early 90s, major computer companies would sell out their would buy laptops from other companies and slap their name on here. I wouldn't be surprised if this Packard Bell Statesman is actually a Zenith laptop. So yeah. And by the way, no, this computer will not run Crysis. Just had to get that out there. What else do we have on here? And oh yeah, I actually installed this by myself yesterday via a floppy. We got Microsoft Word 6.0 on here. Any day now. Gotta love a 486SX. At least that's what I think it is. I'm still new to the whole 486 era lineup. But yeah, here's Microsoft Word. Got a little special message for you guys. And let's see if this computer will be happy enough to tell you. Like I said, it's not easy to type on. And if you already know what it is, don't spill the beans now. We don't want everyone knowing. And it's not one of my biggest masterpieces. Yeah, it's a little slow at times, but not too bad. It even has some type of Monopoly game on here. I guess it's something William put on here. Let's see, Monopoly Deluxe version 1.0, copyright 1992, Virgin Games Incorporated. I wonder if it's the same Virgin that made Virgin Mobile. Who cares anyway? Because I'm really not too familiar. Well, I played Monopoly with a really good friend of mine back around Christmas, but I really don't remember how to play now, so we'll, until I play it with her again, we will save that for another day. And anything else in Windows? I really don't think so. I guess we can take a look at the file manager. Nothing too exciting. But let's drop back into DOS. And despite this laptop's very low specification on the old food chain, I guess, this is still pretty capable of playing a couple of lightweight games. I got two DOS games on here, both from the 1980s, and both are very classic. Let's start with a good classic from the early 80s, from the early days of the IBM PC. Paratrooper. That's a good PC speaker on here, doesn't it? Let's see, spacebar. As I said earlier, this is not the best keyboard in the world, so it's kind of hard to control this gun with such stiff keys like this. Let's get that helicopter there. I know Lazy Game Reviewer is very fond of this game, and I like it pretty well too. It's pretty much one of the first real PC games ever made. I want to say it's from 1982 or 1983. Oh gosh, I hate those bombs, especially on a keyboard like this. We have to play it again. Alright, let's try this again. Oh, 1980s. Why must your games be so... what's the word I'm looking for? Hair pulling out inducing. Wow, I got 2 in one shot. Surprising. Whoa, I'm gonna kill that PC speaker, aren't I? Doing that. Oh great, it's another one of those. You know what I think of this stupid game? Okay, we're back in DOS now. Let's take a look at another classic game that's pretty lightweight. C-A-T. Alley Cat by IBM from 1984. I remember downloading this game back in 2006 off some website. This is a game that can pretty much be played on any computer made from about 1981 to 1999. So it covers both the 80s and the 90s. I've played it on Packard Bells before with no problem. Anyway, let's get into this game. Do you want to use a joystick? No, I don't have one that will work on this computer. I think we'll start with a kitten. Oh boy, if I do that again, I'm dead. Press any key to start. Well, it's better than Gateway's concept by pressing a key to start. Alright, it's pretty much a little platformer. You're an alley cat, and you have to do alley cat stuff like catch mice, catch birds. I don't know what you're supposed to do here, but it looks very complicated. I don't think we want to wake those dogs up. Okay, I think you need to jump into that little pin. I'm not doing too well, am I? Okay, what is the point of this room? Let's get out of here. I don't know what to do here. I think after 7 years I'd get this figured out. Okay, we just committed suicide there. And more PC speaker goodness. 2 lives left. Thought cats had 9 lives. That's not very fair. Okay, and I just got attacked by a dog. Dogs are your worst enemy in this game. Oh, this part's easy. You just gotta catch the mice on this unusually large piece of cheese. And we actually accomplished something. And now we mate. We're gonna go up to that little female cat up there. And, well, show off our moves, if you know what I mean, without getting hit by these other cats, which, believe me, is very hard to do, and we might get killed doing this, unfortunately. DOS games. I love them, but they hate me, as you can see there. Okay, now in this little room, we gotta avoid that dog and try to get the bird out of the cage and chow down. Okay, where did the bird go? Hard to see on a C6 screen. Oh, must have got it. Okay, now we've got to go mate with that female cat this again and try not to die like last time. And we died again because I stink at DOS games, especially games that are technically older than me, and the fact that this game is about 5 years older than me, it's obviously smarter than me, I guess. Okay, now we do need to catch these fish without running out of air, so every now and then we need to go back up to the surface and get air. I can imagine people playing this game on their IBM 5150 back in 1984. I don't know why, but my interest in 1980s era computers has never really been that great. I don't know why, but maybe it's because it's not what I grew up with, and it doesn't really have a whole lot of sentimental value. I'd say I pretty much like any computer made from about 1994 to 1998. And there was this era between 1999 and 2002 when computers just were very, very boring and generic for some reason. That's just my opinion. And it wasn't until 2003 when I met the Dell Dimension 2350 that computers got interesting again. So pretty much 94 to 98 and 03 to present are my preferred era. Oh, and by the way, we don't want to hit the eels either, which we just did, and we just lost because I absolutely stink at games, especially if they're older than me and are from the 1980s and are designed for an IBM 5150, and because I stink at games, they're from the 1980s, they're older than me, and I'm so mad I'm repeating myself. But I'm okay. I am okay. I am okay. Okay, I don't know how well this is going to work, but I wanted to see if I could demonstrate the J mouse. Now what you do, like I mentioned earlier, is you just hold down the J key, and maybe that will work better. Hold down the J key, and you just move it around like a track point mouse on an IBM or something, and the cursor moves around, which I don't think you can see since it's a C6 screen. And while you're holding it down, if you want to click, you hit the space bar, and that does a left click. Now if you want to double click, you can either double click with the space bar, or you can press the G key and it will automatically do a double click. Again, I know this is not coming out very well, but you'll probably get in the gist of this. Okay, close. And let's see if we can exit Windows by using the J mouse. We hold down the J, Hit G to double click the close icon. Hit the space bar for one left click on the OK button. And voila. Let me readjust the tripod here. Okay, there's the DOS prompt. Now, in order to shut it down, all you have to do is, just like on a computer of this age, you just press the power button, and interestingly, it gives you this little message that says, the system is about to power off. Does data need to be saved? If data does need to be saved, you just simply press Y, and it'll just simply take you back to where you were, so you can finish up what you were doing. And just press it again. If you want to power it down, you hit the N key, and it's gone to bed now. Its power has been lost to it, and it's now safe to just flip it back down and save this for another day. Now, this is a nice laptop and all, if you're a computer collector, a vintage computer collector that is, but you know, with the very stiff keyboard and and hardly any usable sound and a passive matrix display and no CD-ROM, you really can't do a whole lot with this. So, if you want an old vintage gaming laptop, don't get one of these, as nice as they are. Instead, get something like this. Cameo appearance by an IBM ThinkPad T23. But for now, Billy Core signing off on April the 14th of 2013. Goodbye.